Lately, Bart has been totally obsessed with kung fu cartoons. In this one, a goofy cat and an old master were living a quiet life until one day, a creepy villain showed up. Fate began to turn its gears. Just like that, the old master was killed. From that moment on, the seeds of revenge started to grow deep inside him. He headed straight to the Catlin Temple to train under a master. After years of grueling work, he kept getting knocked down, but he always found a way to stand back up. He turned all that pain into fuel for his revenge. Finally, the day came when his skills were flawless. The machine finally decided he was ready. After a long and difficult journey, Bart finally reached the villain's door, but by then the guy was just a frail old man. "Come on in. It is time." The cat charged into the courtyard and easily took him out. He replied, "Table for two." "Thanks, master. Thanks for the pork chop." After watching that, Bart had a sudden spark of inspiration. He looked up at the ceiling fan and got a wild idea. He'd tie one end of a rope to the fan and the other end to himself. Then he'd flip the switch and let the fan pull him along. He was basically surfing through the living room. The momentum was crazy, but Bart only thought about the start, not the finish. He was getting way too close to those blades. It looked like he was about to get sliced and diced. At the very last second, Bart managed to pull the switch and save his life. When Homer and Marge got home to find the house in shambles, Homer was about to give him a piece of his mind when the doorbell rang. It was a guy named Herman Millwood, a chair salesman. He was actually there to hand over some cash. How did the family get so lucky? Well, it turns out the Angry Dad short film Bart made had become a massive hit online. A tech company had bought a ton of chairs, but then the tech bubble burst. They went broke and couldn't pay their bills. But out of all the projects they owned, Bart's cartoon was the only thing worth anything. So Herman wanted to turn it into a movie. He just needed Bart's permission first. Once they signed the deal, Herman took the duo to the animation studio. When they walked in, the artists were absolutely buzzing. They had only seen them on screens before, but now the real deal was right there. They wanted some fresh inspiration from the real people. And over at Bart's side, the producers thought Homer's voice was so unique that they wanted him to voice the character. But the big question was, could Homer actually pull off those angry sounds whenever they needed? Bart didn't say a word. He just told everyone to keep their eyes peeled. Right then, Homer was wandering around the office, getting more and more annoyed because he couldn't find a way out. He finally just lost it and started trashing the place. "Hey, Homer, do you want to be the voice of Angry Dad? It would be an honor." With everything in place, the movie was finally finished. Before the sneak peek, Bart told the crowd, "I even skipped school to make this happen. I hope you all enjoy this nearly 5-hour masterpiece." The audience was speechless. They were cheering at first, but a few hours in, they started getting restless. The main issue was that Bart's movie was just way too long. Lisa pointed out that great directors are successful because they know how to trim the fat. Bart's eyes lit up, and he grabbed the scissors and started cutting right away. Before long, the final cut was released. Then, another knock at the door. A Hollywood rep told Bart, "Your movie, Angry Dad, just got a Golden Globe nomination." On the night of the awards, everyone was there, from Elton John to the team from Mixar. Obviously, Mixar is a spoof of Pixar. When they saw Bart was their rival, John Lasseter brought out Randy to intimidate his competition. This part is a parody of the "You've Got a Friend in Me" song from Toy Story. Fun fact, the person singing is actually Dan Castellaneta, the voice of Homer. The Mr. Carrot Head character is a nod to Mr. Potato Head. Later, Wally even threatens Lisa with a gun. It's pretty wild. Things get even crazier inside. When Ricky Gervais shows up, there's a sign that says, "Do not let this man host." That's because he once roasted so many stars while hosting the Golden Globes that everyone felt super awkward. Before the winner is announced, they show the nominees as per tradition. The first one is a spoof of the 2003 French film, The Triplets of Belleville. The second nominee seems to be based on the 2007 animated film Persepolis. After the showdown, the winner was Bart's Angry Dad. Bart wanted to give a speech, but Homer cut him off. Not only did he interrupt, but he also took all the credit. Bart was not happy about that. After the show, Bart tried to leave his handprints and signature, but Homer stepped in again. He wiped Bart's name away and replaced it with his own. In the middle of the night, Bart got a phone call. It was the Academy telling him his movie was nominated for an Oscar. Bart was so excited, but then Homer opened the door and asked what was going on. This time, Bart wasn't about to let Homer steal his thunder, so he kept it a secret. On the day of the Oscars, a reporter asked where Homer was. Bart just said Los Angeles is a big city, and he probably wanted to see the sights. Bart was right. Homer and Marge were busy visiting the Watts Towers, which are made out of recycled junk. Some people recognized Homer and asked why he wasn't at the awards. That's when it clicked he'd been tricked. Meanwhile, at the ceremony, we see the Mixar team's condiment story. It's just like Toy Story. The second a human shows up, they all freeze and act like normal bottles. Homer and Marge finally made it just as the next nominee, Wallace and Gromit, was being shown, but in the Simpsons style. Then it was finally time for Angry Dad. In the clip, Homer finishes his soda and asks for a free refill, but the clerk says no way. This makes Homer so mad, he starts growing bigger and bigger until he's a giant. After the clips, Halle Berry announces the winner is. Homer caught that moment just in time, but when Bart got on stage, he didn't. Forget about Homer. Even Martin Scorsese thought it was a nice gesture. He asked Bart if he was willing to share the Oscar with everyone. We can just buy a replacement at school, right? Hey, you bought it. Bye. Since I already covered most of the Easter eggs, there's not much left to say, but there are a few more fun details. The funniest part is the posters on the wall. The first one is a parody of Pixar's 2001 movie, Monsters, Inc. The second one is a spoof of Disney's The Lion King. The third one is Kung Fu Koala, which is obviously Kung Fu Panda. The fourth one is The Ordinaries, a parody of Pixar's The Incredibles. The defunct tech company also left behind some other projects. At first glance, the first one looks like Star Wars, but it's actually a nod to the sci-fi comedy Spaceballs. If you're wondering why they chose Spaceballs, you can look up the titles. Spaceballs was actually a parody of Star Wars itself. It's like a joke within a joke. The second project combines Gina Davis with Supergirl. The third one is a spoof where Sherlock Holmes becomes a farting detective. The last one is a total mess. Darth Vader's head, Spider-Man's body, Thor's hammer, and Wolverine's claws all mixed together. This episode actually snagged a Primetime Emmy nomination for Best Animated Program. It is basically a sequel to Season 13, Episode 18. If you enjoyed this detailed breakdown, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks, everyone.